Hi, I'm Ted Wetzel, and we're here to talk about secret number 5. We've been through secret 1, 2, 3, and 4 to explore the depths of the problem of government 1.0 and how government 1.0 went from being very functional to being brain dead government 1.0 during the last 2 decades, and how government 1.0 is now plagued by a duopoly. So, what have we here? A path. By Secret 11, we hope that you feel like taking a walk on the path of government 2.0. This is not a total gut job of the Constitution. It's just an update as we get to government 2.0. Job number 1 is establishing trust or reestablishing trust. We don't have to elaborate how my neighbor is in a certain silo and listens to just one channel, but I don't. And there's no need to elaborate on how social media is a torrent of misinformation and how it causes us to debate and compare rather than collaborate and cooperate. We can accept this crisis of trust as fact, right? I mean, here we are, even in a pandemic, COVID-19, with a common enemy, and we have 2 sets of facts. If we were in a community of worshipers and there's a heated discussion going on, some wise person might stand up and say, hey folks, let's take a time out. Are we loving God? Are we loving ourselves? Are we loving our neighbor? And hopefully that would cause some reframing. So similarly for America, let's call time out and remember, are we working on the same thing? The vast majority of Americans want life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and united we stand. Those are the essentials. We believe these core essentials are what makes America not liberal or conservative, but both. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, we the people. Those are not 50-50 propositions. That is America. So, in our conversations, we asked people, help us build the minimum amount of ground rules that would be needed for you to feel safe, to share your ideas, to share your thoughts, share your feelings with others. And from those ground rules, we could always improve them. As an optional little thing here, pull out a piece of paper, and as we go through the ground rules, just rank them for yourself from 1 to 10. 1, don't think I can live with that ground rule. 10, love that ground rule. I already live that ground rule. Or just think through that in your head. Number 1, actually desire to seek harmony. Ground rule number 2, desire to live within the law, including the ways to change laws. Ground rule number 3, protect confidentiality. Ground rule number 4, commit to nonviolence. Physical, mental, verbal, you get the idea. Ground rule number 5, act like a jury or a group of scientists in search of the truth. Ground rule number 6, agree to stick it out and not abandon your fellow new patriots as you work together. Ground rule number 7, and the last one, say ouch when it hurts and call time out when you need a break or you need more information or you need to phone a friend. With those essentials of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, united we stand, we the people, and with these 7 ground rules, which can be improved, we're ready to start talking about some tough issues and exploring answers. The first one of which is the paradox of going it alone. We're going to see a theme come up over and over again, and that's our struggle for balance and our desire often to choose hot or cold, black or white, on or off, rather than something in the middle. Sometimes we do have to choose these things, but oftentimes there's many choices and room for creativity. So, for governing, do we go it together, as in of the people, by the people, for the people? Or do we go it alone, as let's just follow the smartest person in the room? Or it's time to take the lead, all of which those are true. Freedom. Do we go it together and create rules that we all can follow? Or do we go it alone to do as I please? Again, depending on the situation, it could all be true. Capitalism. Do we go it together to achieve bigger things as a team? Or do we go it alone to be an entrepreneur, to invent, start something up, and to enjoy the fruits of our labor? Again, depending on the circumstance, that whole spectrum is true. So it's a bit of a paradox. It's a balancing act. We need both. Go it alone, go it together. We can use competition to pound things into shape and reach some sort of agreement. And we can use curiosity, collaboration, cooperation, creativity to come up with answers. It's all a balance. To say that I'm going it alone forever, you do have that choice as an individual. Back in 1935, Harvard started a study that followed people. They chose people and followed them through their life all the way to death. And they tried to figure out what makes people happy. So I'm going to try to sum up something that there's volumes written on. So go ahead and Google Harvard Happiness Study. After people have the basic items of life, air, water, food, shelter, education, decent job, that provides a certain base level of happiness. On top of that, what are the things that make people the most happy afterwards? It's not more of that basic stuff. It's relationships. So here we are in America with this 80-year study going on that almost no one knows about. And what are we doing? We're isolating ourselves into our silos, going it alone, when it's all but proven by Harvard, if we want to be pursuit of happiness, nurture your relationships. By the way, the second thing that Harvard discovered was to be happy, that makes a real difference, is get involved with something bigger than yourself. Might be grandchildren, something at church, volunteering, helping other people, working in the park, building a path. Over the last several decades, metaphorically speaking, we as Americans have moved from the front porch to the back patio, to the family room, to the man cave. So here we are back to balance. We all certainly need our alone time to invent, to go target shooting, to go fishing, to start a business. We all need our alone time. I find it fascinating to think that our founders knew this back in 1780s, that we the people in relationship was connected to pursuit of happiness. And now Harvard's basically proven it. So, go it alone, go it together. It's a bit of a paradox. We need both. It's a balancing act. Oftentimes, things are complicated and we need each other to figure this out, and multiple points of view is really holistic. So, for me included, when I feel like I have the answer, test it out with others, invite others, get curious. What do you think about this idea?